We spend a lot of time talking about the flashy stuff, the giant screens, the projectors. But today, let's look at the nervous system behind it all.
The infrastructure.
Exactly. The gear that stops a whole boardroom from just going dark because someone plugged in the wrong laptop.
Which almost always brings us back to the rack room. And in any series setup, you're not just plugging things in willy-nilly, you're using a matrix switcher.
And today we're doing a deep dive on a specific piece of that puzzle. It's the Kramer UHD-IN2-F16. It's a 2-channel HDMI input card for their VS1616 modular system.
Right, so this isn't something you buy on its own, it's a component. Think of it like building a custom PC. You slide this card into the main chassis to add 2 HDMI ports.
Okay, so let's get into the specs. It's 4K at 60 Hz, which sounds great on paper. But there's a catch, isn't there?
There is. It's 4K 60, but with 4.2.0 chroma subsampling.
And that's a really important distinction. I mean, if you're watching a movie, you probably won't notice a thing.
Your eyes can't really tell the difference with full motion video, but if you're displaying something with fine text, like an Excel spreadsheet or CAD drawings...
You're going to see it. You get that little bit of color fringing around the text. It's a trade-off.
It's always a trade-off.
Yeah.
See, the card's max data rate is 8.91 gigabits per second. To squeeze 4K 60 into that pipe, you have to trim some of the color information.
So we're really in HDMI 1.4 territory here, not 2.0 or 2.1.
Correct. And that brings up another huge point that often trips people up.
Let me guess, HDCP.
HDCP. This card is compliant with HDCP 1.4.
And that's a big deal, because if an integrator tries to route a modern source, say a PlayStation 5 or a new Apple TV, through this,
it just won't work, or you'll get downscaled.
Yeah.
Those devices require HDCP 2.2 for their 4K content.
So this card is really designed for environments where you control the source. Laptops for a presentation, media servers, that kind of thing.
Exactly. But on the flip side, the audio specs are actually really solid.
I noticed that. It's not just stripping the audio out. It passes through 7.1 multi-channel.
Yep. Dolby True HD, DTS-HD. And it has ARC audio return channel.
Which is fantastic for cleaner installations, getting audio back from the display to the main rack.
But honestly, the real reason you pay for Kramer isn't for the raw specs. It's for the signal management.
You're talking about the Kramer equalization and reclocking?
It sounds a bit like marketing jargon, I know. But electrically, it's critical. A 4K signal is incredibly fragile. It degrades really fast over a cable.
So this card doesn't just pass the signal through.
No, it completely rebuilds it. It reclocks the data stream, which means you can run 10 meters for a 4K signal or even 15 for 1080p right into the card, no dropouts.
And that kind of reliability is what you're paying for. Plus, there's the ED capture. We've all seen that nightmare where you switch inputs and the screen just goes black for 5 seconds.
Or the source defaults to a terrible resolution because it can't figure out what it's plugged into. This card just copies the display's information, so as far as your laptop is concerned, it's always plugged in. Switching is instant.
Okay, let's talk price. List is over $1,300, maybe discounted to around $1,000. That's over $500 per input.
It is steep.
For HDMI 1.4 specs, that's a lot.
Well, you have to think about the cost of failure. In a command center or a university lecture hall, if your $50 switcher dies, the whole room is down. Here you're paying for an industrial build for that reclocking tech. You're paying for insurance.
It definitely feels more like infrastructure than a gadget. Which brings me to a final thought on this whole modular idea.
Yeah.
We love it because it feels future-proof, right? Just swap out a card when you need an upgrade.
That's the promise, yeah.
But technology is moving so fast. We're already talking about 8K, 120 hertz. That needs massive bandwidth. 48 gigabits per second.
Way more than this can handle.
So even if Kramer releases a new 8K input card, can the old VS1616 chassis itself, the backplane, actually handle that much data? Or is the future-proof box actually the bottleneck that forces you into a full system replacement anyway?
And that's the real question with high-end AV, isn't it? The card is only as fast as the bus it's plugged into.
Something to think about. Thanks for breaking down the hardware with us.
Anytime.